going on, people? Welcome back to the channel, Gooners Therapy. Bit of a different video today. Obviously, it's international break. Touching on the Republic of Ireland. You guys might not know, but I am half Irish through my dad, and that's who I support. Just like many people support their clubs through their dad. And yeah, being an Ireland fan, you don't get many moments like this. You don't get many moments where you're overjoyed. But let me tell you, today, you know, for context, we won 3-2 against Hungary. We had to beat Portugal in our last game to stand a chance of qualifying, and we had to go to Hungary and win against them in their own backyard. And it's exactly what we done in incredible fashion. Found ourselves 1-0 down, and then we got a penalty and leveled things up through Troy Parrott. They then made it 2-1. Fair play with a fucking wonder goal, guys. Honestly, a wonder goal. And then at the 80th minute, we equalised. A draw would have been good enough for them. They would have went through with a draw. We had to win. They started inviting pressure on, and we had a few chances, and then we had a real big chance, 92 minutes. Looked like we were going to score, but we didn't, and I thought that was it. But then up steps Troy Parrott in the 96th minute, one of the last kicks of the game, launched long by Keller, shades of Robbie Keane in 2002 in the World Cup against Germany to get us that draw, to send us into the, well, we had to beat Saudi Arabia, but sent us into the knockout stages. We eventually went out to Spain on penalties, but that's when I started supporting Ireland in 2002. And we've not, when we went to the World Cup, South Korea, we've not been to a World Cup since. And could we be about to go to the World Cup for the first time since 2002? It's still a long way off, to be honest, but we've got a chance because we've still got to go through 2 playoffs in March, which I think is unfair to the European teams. It's very difficult. The best team that's in the playoffs would be Italy. There are some other good teams in there. Albania. I'm not sure if Wales have made it now or not. I'll have to look into that. And if anyone knows, you know, how it works, please let me know in the comments. I've been trying to get my head wrap around it, but I've not seemed to be able to work it out. I know we've got to face 2 teams potentially that we could have to face Italy, but look, Ray Houghton, you know, for some of the older fans, they'll remember that, Ray Houghton's goal, and of course Brady in 2016, which was fantastic to put us through in the Euros and go to the knockout stages. We eventually went out to France that year. But look, like I said, we don't get many of these moments as Irish fans. You know, for teams like England and nations like England, Spain and France, they're just dead rubbers because they know they're going to cruise through. But in saying that, Italy, this could be the 3rd consecutive World Cup Italy have not been to. Could you imagine that? The 4-time winners. And look, Ireland could end up facing Italy, and my best friend, 2 of my best friends are Italian, so that would be quite something special. But look, absolutely buzzing. I know this is Gooners Therapy, but I just thought I'd make a video and share my happiness with you guys. And look, I'm sure there's loads of people from overseas, or even people who live in England, you know, who support other countries and stuff like that. And look, England are playing now. I haven't even checked the score. I've been so busy since after the game, but I'm hoping that Arsenal players are not playing because we've just got too many injuries, of course, and I will touch on that in a second. But just want to say that I hope Ireland can make this World Cup. In 1994, we were there when it was USA 94. 2026 Miami, fingers crossed that Ireland can make it. Absolutely buzzing. And Troy Parrott, remember the name Troy Parrott. The truth is, he probably was only playing because Evan Ferguson is injured. And Evan Ferguson is a good talent, don't get me wrong, but I think this guy is better. I think this guy is the real deal. 23 years old, scoring loads of goals, plays for AZ Alkmaar, loads of goals in the Dutch league. And now he's doing it on the biggest stage of them all for his country, against Portugal, today against Hungary, 5 goals in 2 games. What a moment for him. You know, he came through at Tottenham, and I think they could do with him now. I think he's better than all the strikers they've got. I think he's as good as Solanke, and I mean that, and I think he's better than Richarlison. So look, you know, sometimes you don't make it at a club and then you go overseas. Is what a lot of these players are doing now. They're going overseas, these English players, Irish players. You know, Ireland, they do have 1 or 2 good players. Jake O'Brien, you guys might know from Everton. Nathan Collins, of course, the captain. He plays for Brentford. And the goalkeeper, Kelleher. What a fantastic goalkeeper. When you've got a good goalkeeper, you've got a good striker, and you've got a good centre-backs, you've got a decent chance. And that's exactly what Ireland have. And who knows, we may be in that World Cup, and I would have to get to Miami if we did make that World Cup. But now just touching on Arsenal, obviously the North London derby's coming soon. Gabriel looks like he's going to be out. It doesn't look like it's good news. He could be out for a little while. big blow, but this is what the squad's for. We're going to miss him. I've in my streams, I've always said, I asked the question, if you could keep one player fit, who would it be? And it's always Rice or Gabriel. You know, looks like we're going to lose Gabriel. I would personally, Calafiori looks like he's going to be fit. I'd put him in left centre back. He's played there for his national team. He's played for his country. I'd put Skelly at left back. The guy, you know, he knows what it means to play in a North London derby. So that's what I will go with. Let me know in the comments who you would go with at the back. And does this, how much could this affect our season? Let me know in the comments. Are Arsenal still going to win the league? For people that do believe we're going to win the league, and if you thought we weren't going to win the league, I'm sure now you definitely think we're not going to win the league. But look, I think you know, I believe in our squad, and listen, one player does not make the whole team. And I'm sure with, you know, I remember against Real Madrid, I thought we had no chance once Gabriel, well, not no chance, but I knew it was going to be a lot more difficult without Gabriel, and look what we've done to them, you know. So look, Kiwior stepped in. Hopefully Calafiori or Hincapié or whoever it might be, Mosquera, can come in and do a job. But yeah, that game now is just 1 week away. The North London derby, the international break is over. This has been my best international break in a long time. Like I said, you don't get many moments like this as an Ireland fan. I'm just hoping we get a bit of luck in the draw, luck of the Irish, as they say, and hopefully we can go to a World Cup. But listen, we move on now, focusing on Arsenal versus Tottenham. Massive game. But before that, Manchester City play Newcastle at 5:30 under the lights, like we played Sunderland. I think Newcastle, as they've been abysmal, they're 14th in the league. They need a big performance to kickstart their season, and I believe Newcastle could get something out of that game. And then, you know, the Emirates is going to be absolutely buzzing anyway because it's the North London derby. But could you imagine it if City drop points going into that game? So let me know your thoughts, your predictions. Are we going to beat Spurs? Give me a scoreline prediction and let me know who you would start instead of Gabriel. Thanks for watching, guys. We're going to be going live. Get your notifications on, and please, guys, help us get to that 1K. We're getting there slowly but surely. 951 subscribers at the time of recording this video. Help us get to 1K. If we can get there, my aim is to get there for the Monday after Arsenal Tottenham, because obviously we'll be doing lives before then and lives after them. So let's say a few days after Arsenal Tottenham, I'm hoping that we can reach the 1K landmark. But yeah, thanks for watching. Up the Irish and up the Arsenal.